Now, the rogue ex-Green Senator Lidia Thorpe, in a 40-minute address to the National Press Club, did more damage to the Yes campaign today than any advertising from the No campaign could do in a month of Sundays. Now, admittedly, a tiny fraction of Australians would have sat and watched it live like I did. Indeed, I need to get a life. And the speech and follow-up questions will get lost in the Matilda mania sweeping the country today and into the weekend. But boy, was she on form, as usual. Lidia now says she is a senator representing the Black Sovereign movement. Went on to claim 90% of her people were killed off in violent massacres. 50 of them, and she went on to say, this was a sport in Gippsland, in Victoria. You went to go out and shoot blacks. Now, Lidia chose words like war, genocide, torture, and turning to today, she claims her people are still being rounded up and locked in cages. Now, presumably, Lidia believes no Aboriginal person should ever go to jail, despite their crime, and she claims Indigenous children are still being snatched, her words. But it was near the end of this rant where Lidia Thorpe did the most damage, I think, to the Yes campaign. She labels the section of the No campaign that she's not in as racist conservatives.
There are three positions on this proposed voice. The Yes, the conservative racist No, and the progressive No. The so-called progressive No is the position of the Black Sovereign movement and others. We get attacked by the Yes campaign for siding with the racists, by standing in the way of progress. Yet we are actually doing the opposite.
Lidia then outlines the 5 solutions her Black Sovereign movement would accept.
What we need is an end to the war on our people that started on the day the boats arrived. There are 5 elements to how we get there, just like there are 5 elements in nature. The 5 elements of the way forward are truth-telling, implementing the recommendations of the Royal Commission into Aboriginal Deaths in Custody, as well as implementing the Bringing Them Home report to stop the children from being taken away, implementing the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, which we know Labor are stalling and blocking at every chance they can get, and treaty.
And most damaging of all, she outlines what we all believe will eventually come treaty.
Our people have never ceded sovereignty. We have never given up our right to manage our own lands and our own people. This land doesn't belong to the Crown. Come on. It never has. And it should be handed back. There is a lot of money owed to First Peoples. I mean, look at the resources that have been extracted over 200 years.
She then finished with this assessment of the nation that's paid her salary, first as a Victorian MP, now a federal senator.
I don't think a yes or no result is going to make any difference, regardless of what it is. If it's no, well, we know that the country's racist, like it is. It is a racist country. 20 years ago in the reconciliation movement, in fact 22 years ago, I was there. Again, I was pregnant with another kid walking across the bridge in Sydney. The ultimate outcome of the reconciliation movement back then was that the country was too racist to reconcile.
In a nutshell, Lidia Thorpe wants a colonised nation of racists to apologise for imperial occupation and theft and start returning stolen land. Quite the contribution. Now, I bet the Yes campaign is glad there's a little soccer match on tonight, and they are hoping like hell the Matildas win and the distraction runs well into the rest of August.